Happy Friday and welcome back to La Vida Baseball and my basement in Guillén. Yes, he's not here. Mr. Ozzy Guillén is missing today. Welcome back. You made your flight.
I am literally fresh off a plane an hour ago, so my life revolves around the show.
So I thought about it, but I was like, no, I don't think he's probably hungover. I was gonna bring breathalyzer. But you seem to be okay.
Oh, no. Yeah. I was fine. I was more of the golf, hang out by the beach, couple beers, but nothing drastic. I can't say the same thing for Ozzy Senior.
So I heard Ozzy Senior basically got whooped in golf by you, 10 strokes. He was throwing clubs.
Yeah, I literally never met. It was like playing like with the real life Happy Gilmore, and I'm like, usually. You end up being 50 plus years old. You think maturity takes over. And I can see this guy's competitive rage. Like, he'd miss a putt. He'd hit the flagpole, like the stick, the actual stick.
So this is funny you say that.
He's literally swinging at it. This flag moves, and it bends over. And he's like, I'm done playing this game. I don't know why I wake up so early to play this. Misses a putt. Then he starts hitting balls into the water, like the same ball, which is probably like a Titleist Pro V. So he gets upset because I don't talk when I play, good or bad. He's very chirpy when he plays really good. He played awful. And my brother, Osne, you guys have seen the show, he's like, this guy's supposed to be like really good. He's not, like, we're scoring the same. Yeah. I'm like, he was having a bad day, but he drank a lot during the trip. Like, he really enjoyed himself on the beach. And it was nice to get away.
So you guys with Freddie, we'll talk more about that later. But I think it's funny because talking about stories, like we would hear stories of growing up, and then I never witnessed it, but of like Ozzy destroying clubhouses with a bat because he made an error, and now when you see him golfing,
it makes sense because there's very
he was never like that at home.
There was very well documented stuff that those are the ones you got to be scared about, the ones that are like ticking time bombs.
Yeah.
So at home with my dad was very docile, unless we were arguing, but in the clubhouse around stuff, there's very well documented stories of him actually hitting television sets with bats, radio, stereos.
Well, he broke one as a manager. He broke all the TVs in Oakland.
Right. So obviously the team pays for that. And I'm sure some money.
I'm sure we probably are $100,000 to $200,000 between fines, at least $250,000 because of the suspension in Miami. So.
Actually, the one in Miami was $250,000.
$250,000. I'm saying maybe $500,000.
Yeah, so I think between
he doesn't have a gambling problem or a drinking problem, but he could have a rage problem because of competitiveness.
And it was real. And I think I don't give me putts.
Yeah, you're horrible.
And he misses. He misses 4 to 5 point putts. I'm like, dude, we play for real. So you make what you make. If you make an 11, guess what?
McDonald.
Yeah, you're taking an 11.
45. Okay.
No pickups.
So we're here on Being Guillén, obviously our podcast. Rate show, whatever you want to call it, but follow us, subscribe. It's only Guillén, Ozzy Guillén Jr. today from the cave. So topic number 1. So Urias, pitcher for the Angels. Pitcher for the Dodgers. Where's my mind at? Pitcher for the Dodgers posted this week a picture with his father. His father got some tattoos, and I've been big on the tattoo. I love it. I admire it. I love women with tattoos, even though my wife doesn't have any. I love tattoos, even though I only have one that looks like a kid drew with it. But this is a really cool tattoo of a moment which might not ever happen again because it's a World Series, a special moment in time.
And he is the one that closed it out.
He closed it out. So it's a picture of him. It's World Series. And I it was special because on Twitter, I said, should I get it? And somebody said, no, too late for Ozzy's World Series. So people don't know this. Like, even if Ozzy won another World Series, or if Tony La Russa won another World Series, it's different because it's in a different moment in his life. We were in our 20s. We were able to be with him on the bench. I was a translator. Tony worked on the team. Osney was there because he was little enough to be the bad boy. We were all there with him in a moment in our lives where we were able to do that. Like, I'm not going to – if Ozzy manages again, he makes it to a playoff.
It's that you won't be the same.
I'm not going to be a fat guy changing, going down to the field and being another –
Nobody wants to see you in uniform, Ozzy, unless it's for the Browns. Listen, this is very special. This is something to commemorate the memory of his son doing this, and it is his son. It's his son. He will be his son forever. I think it's very great. First of all, I love tattoos. I'm tatted
You have a lot of tattoos. I have Venezuela. You got some really good
I have a lot of tattoos, and I think that if it represents something with your family, and obviously they are a baseball family, it goes well together. Not only that, it's a great drawing.
So when people talk about, like, for my family, like, if we don't have the role, like, what are we gonna? If something that represents myself, other than like spiritual.
Yeah, I mean, there's not.
You have stuff from our religion.
I don't have anything baseball related.
That's what I'm saying though. So like, but baseball is so special to us. I really started thinking about it. Like, I always make fun of people
who has a ball on them.
MLB. I actually used to have a rule. Any girl that I would date or hook up with, if they had a logo of a team.
You said, I'm taking this down, or no?
I would, but I would not date.
So
it was a big rule. I was scared. And even fans are like, you think this is cool? And it's a White Sox logo?
Yeah. See, like right here, this is great.
That's his father.
So he has a connection with the Dodgers.
But then there's rappers that get like Michael Jordan. So if I get my dad.
Yeah, and you shouldn't feel bad.
So
because
should I put the logo on it or no?
I mean, you could make it generic.
That's what I'm saying, though. So for me, it's a special moment.
But you shouldn't feel bad because...
for me, it's not a special moment because of the White Sox. For me, it's a special moment.
It's because your father.
Well, it's Ozzy. He's the first Latino man
to
win a World Series. It's a big deal.
He's a man that created you.
Exactly.
He's the man that gave you life, other than your mom. So for you to get it, I wouldn't look at it as, oh, it's a baseball thing. Say, no, this is my dad who did a great thing. There's people out there that get. There's people out there that get, Dr. King and all these things. So by the way, no one even knows this. In Miami, we had tattoo parties.
Yeah.
Like everyone is everyone is getting tattooed.
So I'm the only one. I'm the one with the least amount of tattoos in my family.
Yeah, even my mom.
Worst tattoo in our family. Worse than my own one.
My dad's baseball above his ass.
His butt.
Nobody knows this. He has a smiley face or a ball getting hit, and it's like a little ball with wings on it. I think it was a drunk. I think he was drunk.
Drunk spring training moment.
Moment.
If we were at a tattoo parlor, and I would think that I would, if I had to guess a baseball moment for you that has nothing to do related with Ozzie Guillén or anything, I think that you would get Roberto Alomar home run in Oakland. I think it was Oakland.
Yeah, it was in Oakland. It was 1992. I would, if I had to get something that
his hands are up.
Yeah, because first of all, tattoos should be something that just like wow, like in your mind forever. Like the city you grew up, your kids, something that's going to be in your mind forever. When I saw Robbie hit that home run in 1992, I remember watching it on TV, and it just stuck with me. And he's got the highlight with the green batting gloves. If I were to get a tattoo for you, it would be of Juan Gonzalez with his I don't even know what you call it, curly hair flowing out.
Not full steroid.
Not full steroid, just yoked out of his mind, 93, 94 Juan Gonzalez with a new Ranger uniform, because those are the things that growing up, your childhood, we would go to the stadium every day.
This is how big Juan Gonzalez is.
Yeah.
And I'm best friends with Frank Thomas, who Juan Gonzalez took a couple MVPs. So that's a Juan Gonzalez baseball.
Right. So Ozzie
got his face. I got this.
So Ozzie was basically rooting against the Sox #1 enemy in that time, but he was so.
Well, it wasn't a divisional thing. I'm saying maybe I guess for Frank as the MVP.
Well, back then it was one division, so
it's true. Yeah. That's true. But I'm saying for that though, like I never saw Frank. Like now I feel bad. Like why wasn't Frank my favorite player? But it was Juan Gonzalez. I guess I liked him. I guess you know what? I didn't like Frank because Frank wasn't juicy. I like them big and strong.
You like them big and strong. Not his women, just fucking
just my men.
Yes.
Just my men, the way they hit it.
So everyone out there that's going to get a tattoo, oh my Lord, like look at this.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at the stash.
Look at that.
Everything.
Look at that mullet.
Yeah.
They didn't even know it was a mullet.
Yeah. So he was doing this stuff, and Ozzie we went to Arlington a lot.
I would go to the Rangers all the time.
We went to every year.
Rock Rangers gear, which is kind of messed up now. Then my dad played on their team. I always wanted my.
Yeah,
I always wanted my dad to play for the Rangers.
Yeah, so he would. Every time my dad see the Rangers, he goes, "Why are these guys so big?" Well, now we know. Juan, I mean, everyone out there has that one guy.
Yeah. So tattoo wise, I would get one though if I was playing a joke on you. If I was playing a joke on you, I would get. There's a couple pictures out there that are funny.
The one with the silk underwear.
I would get Barry Bonds pre-enhancement
in his little goatee,
pre-workout,
and I would get
pre-MVP,
and I would get. Oh my!
There we
Lord,
go.
Look at that. I mean,
if you're a real Barry Bonds fan, if I'm Barry Bonds and someone's like, "I'm your biggest fan," I'm like, "Oh, cool," and I show a tattoo. I don't want to see a 700 run.
First of all,
I don't want to see this.
Can we take a second to look at the greatness of this picture?
It's amazing.
I mean, he's got the gold chain, the silk underwear, the bulges expanded. I think they put oil on his legs. I mean, that's a 7-time MVP. That's your home run king.
That's your home run king.
Sorry, Miss Aaron, but I mean, in the record books, he is a home run king.
By the way, I think at this point he only had been MVP 3 times.
Yeah, this is Pittsburgh Barry.
This is Pittsburgh
Barry, maybe transitioning into the Giants.
I would love him to redo this picture in a tattoo. It'd
be great. Not sure we'd ever see this again. For me, I would get you Steve Stone's Playboy picture.
Oh man,
with the spread on
pony, the Stone Pony one.
I don't know why those
Playgirl.
I'm being honest with you. The 80s,
they were so much fun.
The 70s and 80s were very just anything goes.
So we have this picture back here, and that's the one I shared. And I would love to get this tattooed, but then I would have to say, who's that? And I say that was Oni, but it's my face, and my dad's like, hugging you at Old Comiskey.
You know what? And honestly, those are the best memories. I know we're going to talk about today. Those are the best memories as far as look
right
at
there,
this. Like we literally used to go to the ballpark and stretch with our dad before games, and you feel like you're a part of the team. And it's in one of those documentaries that the guy did. We're literally wearing the team uniform made to our size. And I don't know, it's not the same when you go to work with your dad that works in the.
No, it's not.
It's not. This is like you're in the stadium. There's fans around.
Well, no one takes.
You feel like you're like
your dad doesn't take you to surgery either or to court to like. I think when you're in baseball, the fun thing is that you get to be with your dad and you get to work out with him. That's the next thing about. I used to love spring training. It was my favorite time because the time for players to relax and your kids are allowed to be around a lot more. Back then, people are like, "Oh, you guys had your uniforms made." Yes, there was no Dick's Sporting Goods where they sold kids stuff. Like everything had to be made.
It's a lot different now.
It's a lot different now. Like we'd have our gloves made by Wilson. Like it's a lot different now. But the second topic, and this all goes into that. And by the way, let me know if I should get a World Series Ozzie Guillén trophy picture or what tattoos I should get. Because I think I should get Lavina pay for my next tattoo and film it.
First of all, if you get a tattoo, it all depends where, but it's painful. I know that.
I can do it. That's the one I want. This one. Generic?
Yeah.
No team logo.
Yeah, no team logo. Make just a gray or a black hat.
Don't get mad, White Sox fan, but I don't want to have the White Sox logo on myself.
On your skin. So this would be great. And by the way, I know there's people in Chicago that have this tattoo
for sure
already because it's such a
John from
it's such a historic.
Oh, of course, they didn't win one in 100.
A historic picture, but you should not feel bad. I have my brother's names tattooed on me right now, so I'm always big on the family and stuff because you're only going to have eventually one day, maybe the kids and stuff, but I got to have some room.
So of course, so spring training. Okay, spring training is a time in Major League Baseball in a player's time where you get to relax. I always joke around that most wives are from spring training series because players are really chill and they have time to actually spend with another human being. But it's a time when players bring their families and you get to spend time. A little bit different now with COVID, but actually there's players that are there with their families and they're going through the protocols every day. For us, it was a time where we would get to spend multiple weeks with our father because he was in one place at one time. So it was the only time during a season where you get to be in one spot for over 2 weeks, okay? As kids, we would love it because we would get to dress up multiple times during the week because when dad's done with practice, you get to go in the backfield, so there's like 100 of them, and you get to take ground balls, you get to wear the uniform. And no one makes it a big deal unless you are greatest kid of all time, Drake LaRoche, who actually got to take PFP with the players.
And that's
everyone knows that whole story. But again, Drake LaRoche, shout out to you, greatest kid of all time. But it's a time when you get to be there.
Yeah, listen, spring training if you're a real baseball fan, I always tell people that the regular season is you don't have that much access to the players. Spring training is what it's all about. Guys are not that serious, more laid back. You get access to players. Everyone is in relaxed mode until those last week and a half. That's when guys start turning it on. But if you really want to see your team, if you really want to see your players, spring training is the best to go. And why not go to Arizona during March? Why not go to Florida during March?
So I got some great spring training stories. I think once we became adults, we would actually live in a house.
So two things. We've experienced spring training in two different ways. We experienced spring training with being the kids, going to the games, taking ground balls, it's all cute. And then we've also experienced spring training, older versions of spring training, which is now we're getting drunk on St. Patty's Day with all the minor leaguers. And we're golfing, and then we're going out at night. So we've experienced all kinds.
So when your day is done, okay, at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and Ozzie Guillén has one of the best spring trainings. Get your stuff done.
I'm going to be honest with you. My dad used to go to. I don't know if I should say this on Latino baseball, but we used to finish spring training, and then we'd go directly grimy. We go directly to a strip club at 1:00 in the afternoon.
TDs.
We would go to TDs in Arizona. We go to a strip club at 1:30, from 1:30 to 5, and then we go eat dinner. And then
What do you guys do at that point
and
there?
we'd have beer. We'd have a couple of drinks. My dad, Joy Cora. Then we'd go from there to have dinner. Obviously, a lot of drinks at dinner. They go to sleep and they do it again the next day.
Because people forget, Oni was actually playing at that time. For me, I'd go in, do my work, but I think that spring training for me was always exciting because of the time. For me, it was every year, and it's funny, I thought I was fat back then. I would go get in shape. First week of spring training,
workout.
I'm working out like the players. I'm like, I'm going to go into spring training the best shape possible, even when I was playing, but even once in high school and college, I would use it for like, going there and working out with the guys, and you get to meet the guys. But for me, it was always like, who are the prospects? Okay. And spring training was a time that I always you got my heart broken.
And you also, if you're one of those diehard fans, you get to see guys that you normally wouldn't and come to Chicago.
Or you get fooled.
Yeah. Or you're like, hey, who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Joe Borchard. Okay.
Yeah.
So when people were out there, which is a cool thing now, and they're buying the baseball cards for the future, I think I might have about like $500 worth of Joe Borchard stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're single, if you're going out there, a lot of hot women are in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. But so it was a great time. So college, we were there. It was a good time. But I also learned a lot about the game, okay? And there's a time in your life where when you're the son of a baseball player, okay, if your father has run the game of baseball. So we're from Latin America. My mom, was a stay-at-home mom. She had her marketing jobs, but career-wise, my grandfather was a regular guy, worked like in business. Construction. And then the other guy worked in construction. So we don't come from I don't have doctors and lawyers as my uncles. My cousins are, but my uncles are not. There's three things that you did in Venezuela where my parents are come from. You dealt drugs, you played sports, and you did something with music. That was it. Or you just hung out there and you was like a hustler. So baseball is your life, okay? Meaning that's our family business, which technically is not a business. So at some point in your lifetime, you always think I'm going to get into the family business. I'm going to become a professional baseball player. Around the age of 12 to 13, you need to start making that decision. So around 14 years old, maybe 15, the story of, which is probably one of my favorite stories in spring training of all time, is a story that in our family is very special. I don't even know if this guy even knows this. It's the story of a baseball player named Billy McMillan.
In Melbourne, Florida.
Florida. Ozzy was done playing, okay?
First year coaching.
And it's my first reality to what Major League Baseball really was and is, okay? So we always thought, you always think, oh, my dad played big league baseball. I'm going to play big league baseball. Everybody thinks that. Every kid whose dad was a big league player who never thought that has aspiration.
I could do this
until you realize you can't. But in this moment is that when I said, you know what? I don't think that I might be cut out for the playing. Maybe front office, broadcasting, but playing, I don't know. And it was Billy McMillan. So when you go to spring training, your faith if you're a younger guy. I'm going to go to AA. I'm going to go to AAA. But Billy McMillan was trying to make the big league team.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. And I'm going to say something that you can finish the story. A lot of people come with aspirations. They're going to lose their job, and they're going to get cut, and they're going to get sent down. And even worse, they're going to get released. Obviously, they're playing a game, but getting released, that is not fun.
I'd always would think about, and we'll get into that one, but I'd always feel bad for guys that were going to get released because their families are there, their hopes are there, your big league chances are they're going to be in AAA, depending on the age of the guy. So this guy, Billy McMillan, okay, who had met at spring training, awesome guy, outfielder, was trying to make the Marlins.
My God.
And Billy was awesome. And Jeff Torberg was the manager. Hands down, probably one of the nicest guys ever to manage a team. Never swore, never snapped at guys. And then Billy makes an error in the outfield. Couldn't find the ball.
Ball got caught
in the corner. Guy scores. It's like the last day, second to last day of spring training. And then he got thrown out at the plate, right?
Yeah.
And Jeff.
No. The guy scored, and then he made a mistake on the offensive end.
On the offensive end. He couldn't bunt.
He couldn't get the bunt down.
God tried 3 times. I think it was a three-time bunt. And he was going to be a utility guy. And Jeff Torber, when he couldn't get the bunt down, snapped. Okay? Snapped, meaning something that Ozzy did managing a lot. But I was at the end of the bench.
Because it's we were there, and then it's there's not a lot of people in the dugout during spring training, especially towards the end of the game. It was
Billy, us, coaches, and then the other guys that were trying to make the team.
And Jeff starts chewing Billy out. And we call this taking someone's soul. Jeff took Billy's soul, and I witnessed it. and my heart broke.
My heart broke because Jeff said basically, Billy, you're not making the team.
You're done. You're done. Take your uniform off.
No, but he wasn't like a mean thing. It was like, you've made it hard for you to make this team. So Billy sat in the corner of the dugout with his head down. And mind you, I made fun of players for crying in the dugout for not hitting a pitcher. That I thought it was hilarious because you were like weak. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's crying in a big league dugout. But with Billy, Billy was not crying, number one. Number two, I just felt his pain because he was going to lose his shot at the big leagues. And he had done everything right.
Yeah,
until that moment.
Up to that moment.
And he lost the race. And I realized that this was a business. And even though they liked you, that you were the right fit, that they couldn't vouch for you to make the team. In that moment, I said, man, this is a hard job. And then when I experienced
it's a very hard job. Why do you think these guys get paid so much?
No, but I mean, even the manager, though.
It's a hard job.
Ozzy's job, and he's not here today, and I want him, when he comes next week, to talk about it. Ozzy hated sending somebody down or releasing someone. Why? If you like the person, there's nothing worse. And there's nothing better if you hate the person.
Right. But even Ozzy has been released.
So I always used to say this when I would feel bad when someone was going to get released. And the back of my mind said, well, my dad got released on a team plane coming back from Baltimore.
No, leaving his home city.
And he said, please leave me here. I know you guys are going to release me. No. This is why I hate the Baltimore Orioles, and I hope they lose.
Yeah, by the way, the Guillén family hates the Orioles. Now it's easy, but we hate Baltimore.
We hate the Baltimore.
We lived in Baltimore for what, 2 months?
I hate Baltimore, but it was because he was released on a team plane, on his way back. Then he was released by Tampa.
After a great spring training.
Best spring training ever had, the last day of spring training. At least Atlanta had a reason why they were releasing them.
They had full
car. But so we've been through that. We've been in Tampa unpacking the home we're going to live in.
To where I just got released.
We just got released, pack everything.
Yeah, guys, the lease. You guys don't realize how hard it is to be in a baseball family, because it's not like, hey, I'm the CEO of Jewel, I'm the manager of Jewel. Your life can change so quick. When your job,
like, they put you in a city, they usually rent an apartment.
So when you get to a place, we got to find a school or find a golf course, find a grocery store. Where is everything here? Where can my kids go? All these things. Players have to find a lease that's short term, and then all of a sudden, boom!
And that's why guys retire. And that's why like the Pujols thing and his wife making the comment. It makes sense.
It is a hard job. Why
are we going to go in that circle? I remember Ozzy had an offer, after that spring training from the Red Sox. Nomar was hurt. He said, I need to be guaranteed 1 year in the big leagues at least. And they said, we can't guarantee that until Nomar comes back. And he said, you know what? I'm done. So from a standpoint of when you're making a decision to release somebody, you're breaking somebody's heart. Okay, and it's easy to release a kid that's younger, like meaning release free agent because somebody might pick him up or send him to the minor leagues. But when you're breaking a guy's heart, that's it. But I also seen some great spring training moments
of guys making the team.
Chris Ridger
of guys making teams
went to spring training. This guy was like, he was happy if he would have been like a AA, AAA. At one point, they were considering him being a coach. In spring training, breaks the team, World Series that year as a backup catcher.
Pablo Zuna for me.
Pablo Zuna. Sticks out.
Hit 600
in spring training. Alexi Ramirez, no chance of making that team. Ozzy again said he's making this team.
2008.
He made it. John Atkins. Drilled somebody. Drilled Quentin. Made the team.
Wins the manager's respect. Boone Logan.
Aaron
Wasserman.
Aaron Wasserman. Wasn't he in a tryout?
No, he got found in the backfield tryouts. And he's like, hey, this guy's kind of funky. I used to run tryouts. And I'm like run tryouts, work them. And I'm like you see guys that have been played professional baseball for 8 years trying to get signed. And it's like baseball is their life. They don't know, they haven't done anything else. And they're out there running and you clock them and they're hitting. Then they have a bad tryout. And then it's just like, hey man, it's a really, really tough job. That's why when they tell you that you've made the big league team and you see those guys, look, I have goosebumps right now. When they tell you you've made the big league team, you can tell your family, your wife, you're going to Chicago. Gustavo Molina, I remember.
Yeah.
That was his first time. And he was, you are so excited and you're excited for them.
Yeah.
And there's people walking around. Most people know, but spring training is basically for one or two guys.
Yeah.
To make the team or to get released, but it's an opportunity. And as long as those guys, because games are starting soon, if managers give guys opportunities, aid it, cafe. I got my eyes on a lot of guys that are non-guaranteed. Hopefully, you have to get that opportunity. You have to run with it because if you get hot for 2 weeks, you're going to make the team.
Yeah, and that's when you got to get the timing. And by the way, for the people asking the questions, no, you do not get a little red card like in Major League Baseball.
No, when you get released, they bring you into the office and you said, hey, we're going to go into different directions. And sometimes you hear guys saying, F you, this sucks, I'm going to go somewhere else, blah, blah.
Or you have guys come in and say, count on me. I'm your bulldog.
You can count on me.
And then they bring on to the big leagues and he doesn't hit a guy and he cries and he's done.
Yeah, so we won't name any names, but that's how it really is, guys. And we're right now, they're working out the rosters, they're working out the kinks, but people will lose their jobs. Some people will be designated. Hopefully, thank God there's minor leagues this year. So
minor league baseball is going to change that. So now the guy can go to AAA.
Yeah.
Okay, and play. And I always tell people this. Some guys, when they get released, they're like, I'm going to go be a free agent somewhere. I'm like, just go to your AAA
job.
Take the
Somebody
AAA. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to, the expand roster going to do that. And again, we'll talk more about that later on. But service time, obviously, some guys are not going to make the team. Sorry, don't get mad at.
You already heard what the CEO,
former CEO of
manipulating players. Nothing that players didn't know already.
Oh, please, come on, let's do this. So much excitement. So spring training is the best time. One day when it opens up again, if you get a chance you're there to be around baseball, spring training is the best time to be around. Not only as a fan, but also as a family member. We've had some great moments in spring training, some amazing stories, some funny stories, okay? Some that can actually on the air.
Yeah, and guys have a lot of days off, too. So it's not like you're there every day, but you're done at like 11 or 12.
Yeah, pool time,
half day.
Little pool time.
With the kids.
But my favorite thing in spring training is somebody always says there's a fat guy. The fat guy lost weight. He's going to be better. This year, that's Vladdy. He lost 55 pounds. Okay, by the way, Scott Merkin, stop using 15 pounds. He gained 15 pounds. He's gained 15 pounds. We found 10 articles where you've talked about that's how much weight the players gain. Did you really ask these guys how much weight they've gained?
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm saying, no, every year they say when they want to say somebody's good, he put 15 pounds of muscle. In 3 months, that's tough. I'm just saying the 15 seems to be the number. No one says 30 because it looks weird, and I think 10 sounds weak. But every year they say that, hey, man.
We have fans chiming in saying they remember, getting Gary Sanchez's autograph when he was wearing number 68 and he was in the bullpen. Like when you see guys wearing like 68, 92, those weird numbers, they won't be on the team.
And this is where it gives you hope because you see a guy like Greg Vaughn. Is that his name? Greg Vaughn? No, that's the other Vaughn.
You mean Rick Vaughn?
No, I'm saying like Vaughn, the kid with the White Sox.
Andrew Vaughn.
Little Walter Rainiac. He gets a couple hits. This guy's big league ready. By the way, I've seen
good spring trainings.
Funniest story ever, though, in spring training, talking about coaching. This is where it gets crazy, okay, before we take off tonight. Spring training, I don't remember the year because I got a bad memory. Walks in Greg Walker, hitting coach, Chicago White Sox, and said, we got a problem.
First day,
literally like an hour into spring training. And I'm overhearing it.
Oh, is this the Adam Dunn year?
And he tells Ozzy the story.
Yeah.
Says he's got a hitch. He's got a theme. But mind you, Adam had come from hitting 40, 40, 40. I go outside and I see Adam taking batting practice, and Adam's hitting him 100 feet over the fence. And I'm like,
I don't see it.
I was like, that's a really weird problem to have because this guy's hitting balls 100 feet. So I'm not a hitting coach. Ever thought about hitting?
I don't know what Greg Walker saw, but he saw Adam Dunn hitting, and obviously sometimes it's different when they're throwing. You know what's coming.
Hold on. Now this was literally his first BP session. He said, we have a problem.
Greg Walker comes in. He tells Ozzy, the free agent that we just signed,
we got a problem. Unless he fixes it. So he tries to fix it in spring training.
Swing.
Tries to help him in spring training, and Adam's like, I can hit. I only need to hit 80-something balls hard. I'll be fine. He has a good spring training, actually. Okay? Has a good first series.
I think he went deep.
Went deep, double. We had that party at that bar for that opening day. And I was in my head, I'm like, Walk is wrong, man. Walk is losing it. Like, Adam is he's on fire.
He's ready to go.
Walk's just being Walk.
How many home runs did he have that year?
And after that series,
13 home runs.
Tied
with Brett Lillibridge.
Man, they clapped for him when he got drilled. And I still to this day, I said, Greg Walker saw that within the first 10 minutes of him taking BP. So these coaches, when they're hitting ground balls, they're doing a job. They're not going to them.
Joy Cora he said, Mark Tehan, we have a problem. He can't play third base after hitting him 3 fungos.
3 year deal.
I'm like, what is going on?
But I'm saying that's why they get paid for it. That's why they've been in that job for a long time. I think that's what a good coach does. And this is where I think the game of analytics and spring training gets dangerous because they're just looking at stats.
Who was the guy that just came out and said analytics is ruined? Lindor. Lindor said we're going way too deep into this stuff
because you're not looking at the development.
Did
you see the thing the thing I shared on Twitter with that coach hitting those ground balls?
Yes, and what is that about? We got a coach hitting line drive.
I'm like,
PFPs is ground balls to the pitcher. You're supposed to work on your hands and your feet. You're not supposed to be worried for your life. Like, I'm about to get hit in the face.
That only happens they're going to get them prepared. If they hit a ball off the middle of that hard, good luck. You put your glove in. Let it go.
No, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I haven't been.
So that's the part where it's dangerous, though, because when you got to look at a guy's development, okay, it's great to see the stats sheet, but you have to see them play the game. Like Doug Mansolino once told me, great infield instructor, no matter what stats tell you, Ozzy, when you're looking at them, and I'm obsessed with Fangraphs. People don't get this. I send these guys so much information. They're like, dude, stop. Like, I'm on my computer constantly just looking at different things because I love it. I love playing fantasy. I love the numbers. I work with numbers. But you have to see what a player does between the lines, okay, and what he brings in. I think spring training is a time where you see if that guy has that makeup to get to the big leagues. Then the big leagues is a whole different monster. So I think spring training gets you prepared. But I think once you get to the big leagues, that's when you say, okay, this is a difference.
And, I know this season is going to be special. We're back to 162, a lot of optimism. People are saying that, that 60-game season was that's nothing. So I'm very excited I wish the season would start tomorrow. I'm ready to start doing that.
A lot of guys that aren't signed wouldn't love that. But, okay, so I think that for next week, we got to do the predictions. I want to do predictions before everybody gets signed.
Yes, I want to do predictions ASAP. I'm taking on all bettors.
All bettors.
And all bettors. Even if it's small bets.
Small bet. If you guys want to bet Oni, bet him over there. I'm just getting ready for my fantasy.
Come this way. By the way, this is this finger, not the middle one, so relax.
Yeah, don't get him in trouble. So Ozzy Guillén will be back hopefully next week, unless he lets himself be kidnapped. I'm sure he's probably in Florida practicing his golf swing. Trying to get better.
Yeah, they're looking for a new place and stuff. So
for me, right now, if I flew to Florida, I'd probably get a chance to beat him.
Yes.
Yeah, he must be playing really, really bad.
He lost a lot of balls. We donated a lot of balls.
From La Vida Baseball, from the Guillén Show. Follow us on social media. Follow the page. Let us know, again, what tattoo you would get. And we didn't even get into superstitions. I'll save superstitions for next week. Oni, we're not going to share what's my superstitions when I played. Oni, I don't think you're very superstitious.
Actually, one of the there's a guy watching us named Jordy Rivas who doesn't watch his catcher's gear, which is absolutely disgusting. Well, when he used to be a catcher, he's a party now. That's all he does. But when you don't watch your catcher's gear, guys. I got 2 hits. I don't watch my gear. Disgusting.
So next week
we'll watch your uniform, guys.
We'll talk more about superstitions though, but we'll get to that one because it's a hilarious one. Hopefully, Ozzy's there for that one. But from La Vida Baseball, let us know what tattoo we should get. Keep following us on our social media. Have a great
guys in La Vida. I need a gray La Vida hoodie. I need to buy it. I love it. There's a gray La Vida hoodie, just like the black one, but it's all gray. I'm getting it. I love it. I had to say that.
Have a good one.